Hey, I'm Liv. Welcome. If you don't know who I am, it doesn't matter because I'm like all the other billion people who like makeup on YouTube. If you like makeup too, you're in luck because we're going to talk about makeup today, specifically the Serenity palette by Menagerie Cosmetics. If something's hyped up, I tend to lose interest in it. So Menagerie was super hyped up and I'm like, meh. But I've been waiting for a really colorful palette by them. I do like Annette's Makeup Corner. That is who this palette is in collaboration with, but I've never bought anything specifically because I like the influencer. I did buy this, however, because I like the color story. Look at that. It's pretty gorgeous. We used this to do this look. I've been wearing this for a couple hours. I'm very happy. But if you're interested in seeing how I put on this look and also seeing a wear test of how it wore throughout the day, because I've got many hours in the day left, we're going to see how it wears. We're also going to see how it comes off because I've heard these suckers stain quite a bit and I'm hoping that's not the case. So if you're interested to see how this performs from someone who is super unbiased and not super into the whole hype, then keep watching. Ooh, I haven't done one of these in ages. It's always shocking to see your face this close, this early in the morning. Like, whoa, woman. Okay, so this is the palette, and I'm thinking we're, at first glance, probably gonna do this metamorphosis all over the crease, and then imago in the outer V, and then probably the lighter blues and the green. But we'll see. We're gonna start with the two mattes that I pointed out, the light purple and the navy. And I'm gonna prime like I usually do, really quickly. So I actually just got back from my first trip, all COVID. I just realized that this lipstick I have lying here is the exact color of the shirt. That'd be really tempting. If I don't do that now, I'll do it someday. We're filming later for the car channel, Maki vlog, if you're interested. I 3D printed this and my printer's really small, so I printed it in two pieces and it kind of doesn't love that. But anyways, so we did our first road trip and I had all my makeup packed in here, which is actually really fun. I know we're doing a Serenity thing, but Menagerie thing. Here's my travel palette. Hoola bronzer that I use for eyeshadow. This blush that's also an eyeshadow, or eyeshadow that's also blush. I think it's Juvia's Place. I might change that palette up a little bit, but it was really fun. I remember that a lot of the fun of having makeup is making combinations for traveling, because then that's all you have, but you know that you have other stuff. So if your made travel palette doesn't work, it's like, okay, I'm gonna switch out with this, and the next time I'm gonna be able to do this look. I don't know. That's just something I like. And I've really enjoyed having a lot of makeup, but it's nice to be forced to make it concise. So I've been loving this vegan color corrector that I have. I got the Ulta color corrector, but it's not quite as light. And I know that the tone of the color corrector is more important than the depth, but this exact shade fits me very well. Like I can almost wear it as a concealer as well. And if you hear birds, it's early. I have work in like 40 minutes. So we got back from our road trip last night. This is gonna be chitty chatty a little bit, by the way. If you want to jump to impressions about the eyeshadow, I'll put timestamps down below and like in the line of the video, so you can jump to that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply this makeup. I will finish up my base and everything on my lunch break and come back and show you guys the finished product, and then I'm gonna wear it for a very long time and tell you what I think about it. I've been very curious about Menagerie Cosmetics because they're kind of hyped. There's a lot of hype around them, and at the same time, a lot of people say they stain, and some people don't love the formula as much as others. So I'm curious, like, let's see, is this worth the hype? Is it as good as everyone says it is? The thing that I'm a little apprehensive about is that it stains so much. By the way, I swatched it. Can you see? It's a hard part. Can you see that on my thumb there, on my hand? That's where I swatched just one shade last night and it's still in my hand. So because these eyeshadows are magnetic, so it would be really nice to switch things out. It could make a really nice travel palette, which is for some reason always my thought. But if they stain a lot, that's not something you want when you're traveling. You don't want to have to be covering up a magenta when you don't have much time somewhere and you just got off a plane. And I'm gonna clean my Sigma E25 brush. I don't know what I'm telling you guys, but I haven't done this in a while, so. Oh, and if you're curious, that was a MAC paint pot in soft ochre. Now we're gonna go into that light purple metamorphosis. I'm really excited to try the mattes. Ooh, they're soft and powdery, just kind of boofing. Totally made a bunch of powder. Let's see how this applies. That is whiter, like more of a white base than I thought that was gonna be, which is great, but also different. Wow. Ooh, okay, I like it. I like this. I like this matte. So one thing I was thinking is if I like this and it doesn't stain terribly, which I'm assuming it will, it'd be really nice to switch out a couple shades because I always like having a brown for the crease. So I could switch out something. I'm not sure what I'd want to switch out. Actually, probably the pink shimmer and put a brown in there instead. A matte brown. Okay, this is blending really nicely. So, I'm double vaccinated. I got to go on my first little road trip with my husband for the car channel, and we were able to stay with a family friend who's also fully vaccinated in Santa Fe, and we went to Meow Wolf, which was magical and wonderful. It's one of my most favorite places. We actually did a little gorilla wedding ceremony there. Me and Patrick and one of my best friends did sort of a hand fasting ceremony under the tree. Couple of years ago, of course, and 4 years ago. So this was sort of like our anniversary trip to be able to go do it, and I know we're very fortunate to be able to travel now, and I was just ecstatic. It was awesome. I had the best time, and this eyeshadow blended wonderfully, really wonderfully. Okay, I'm gonna take my little Precise blender. This is an E42 from Sigma. I love this brush. So if you have been to Meow Wolf, what do you think of it? Do you love it? If you haven't, do you want to? I mean, kind of the best place ever. I love it so much. I'm gonna use this deeper blue. That purple was much lighter than it looked in the pan, so I'm interested to see how this blue is. Can you see that? There's so much on the brush just from a little booth. Okay. Okay, I really like this. Gosh, I hope it doesn't stain too badly. I mean, I'm expecting it to stain, but I'm hoping it's not like so horrific. Wow, wow, wow. So I love when you can apply eyeshadow and then sort of blend it out from there with pats. And sometimes it doesn't do that. Some formulas, like you apply it and then as you start patting out, it's patchy. So far, this is performing like you would expect, like dark where you apply it and then as you blend out it becomes less and less dark, but not patchy. Because sometimes I find that can be the challenge, is to sort of shade where the patchy bits are. And I'll probably show you guys in close to real time because that was really quick. Normally I cut out silences and stuff, but that was quick and I'd rather you see that. I'm, if anything, somewhat biased against Menagerie. I'm not biased against them. But when something's super hyped up, I'm the kind of person that the more hype something has, the less interested I become. So I'm not biased against them. I want this to work because they're actually kind of affordable if you buy the palette because it was 30 something, I think 38 for the palette. So for 12 shades, I had to count that. Oh my goodness. So for 12 shades, that's actually really reasonable to me. Like for example, Adept Cosmetics is actually down the road from where I live. They're in Centennial, I think, where Patrick used to live. And so like when I first heard about Adept, I was like, whoa, local brand, how cool is that? They're too expensive. I'm not gonna try you. Your palettes are like close to $70. They're virtually $70, and that's not with shipping or tax or whatever. Although assuming shipping's free, I don't know. But so that's prohibitive. I can't justify that. Yeah, I just can't justify that. So if Menagerie is more affordable and good quality, that's very exciting. What I've really been enjoying lately for my eye shape is to keep the darkness on the outside and just bring it a little bit up and in. So like there's not much darkness on the lower portion, but it's coming in on the top. And I feel like that elongates my eye really nicely, and I'm having a really easy time with this. However, I realize I've gone a little over the light purple that we put out there, so I'm going to apply that again. So on this road trip, we went in our electric vehicle, Mustang Mach-E, and so this was our first time charging the car on a road trip, and a lot of the chargers are at Walmart. And so I actually got to go in and like see makeup in person and actually match some foundation to my face, which I haven't been able to do in like well over the pandemic, because I didn't really do that much anyways, but I'm not saying I haven't been able to do. I've elected not to do, and I've been super fortunate enough to be able to do deliveries. But it was very cool to go in the store, use the restroom while we were charging the car, and just look at something and be like, oh, this is my foundation shade. Okay, so I'm kind of leaning into the blue. One, because my hair is green and I'm wearing a green shirt, and I'm gonna use some green in this too, but also we might be shooting a video later. Not sure if I'm gonna jump in on it, but all about the Ford F-150 reveal today. If you don't know, so the car that we have is the Mustang Mach-E, which is the Ford, the all-electric Mustang, and it's an SUV. It's a bit of a controversial car because some Mustang traditionalists don't love that it's electric, or love that it's an SUV, like it should be more traditional Mustang as opposed to such a useful car, because to me an SUV is very useful, and I'm thrilled that it's useful because it's the car I want. When we first saw it at the LA Auto Show in 2019, I was like, whoa, there's an electric SUV, because there weren't really any other options then. Like the Tesla Model Y wasn't out yet. If you're interested in cars or anything, by the way, you can check out our channel, Mach-E blog. It's been really fun, and it's a really cool community, and we're getting into electric vehicles. But anyways, for me, the fact that it was an SUV like opened it up, because I want to be able to carry my trike. Probably saying a bunch of things out in the middle of nowhere, but I ride a recumbent trike because I'm an amputee, and it matters to me to be able to put my trike in the car. And in Patrick's old car, we could not fit the trike, and I also couldn't drive the car because it's a manual, and I drive with my left leg because my right leg is the one that got blown off. This was fab. I love it. What time is it? I gotta go to work soon. Okay, we're good. So anyways, the new F-150, which is the most sold truck in America, is going to be all electric, and Biden just drove it yesterday. It was like a pre-reveal reveal, and it looked pretty sweet. I don't want an F-150. That's too big for me. I've had a partner who had an F-150, but I'm really excited that something so big and powerful could be electric. Okay, let's focus on eyeshadow here quickly. What do we look like? What are we looking like right now? We're looking very blue purpley, so blurple. Okay, look, I have green hair. We can get away with green shimmer as well as the blue. So we're gonna do light blue and then the deep blue. And then when there's a nice line between them, I'm gonna buff this lime green in between the transition where they meet. That's what we're gonna do. Sometimes I find if you want to do multiple shimmers on your lid, it can help to do that, like lay down 2 of them and buff over the transition, and then you just get like a really fine line and a good gradient. This shimmer is weird. What brush am I using? I'm using the brush that I'm lady. Okay, that's a really chunky shimmer. I'd heard this said before. I'm hoping that I love the shimmers as much as I love the mattes. I was kind of assuming, because I'm a little more matte particular, I guess, and I assumed the shimmers were going to be nice and chunky, but I'm a little nervous now. Oh, okay, that's laying down nicely. It's just it's chunky. What does this equate to? So do you know if you use top coats much, how they can be chunky sometimes, and there's a sort of opalescence between them. So like a really metallic creamy shimmer, it's just creamy metallic formula, but a chunky top coat can be sort of opalescent with metallic but sprinkled in. So that's sort of what this is like. Like, I don't think you're gonna get a top coat finish, but you have to apply it a little chunkily, which I don't love. I don't love the shimmer, but this is just the lightest one. So perhaps the lightest one is formulated as a little bit more of a top coat. It reminds me a little bit of the Nomad Cosmetics shimmers, or their top coats rather, but it's far more opaque, but it's a similar thing. However, you could probably use this as a top coat because the first couple shades go on light, or first couple layers. So anyways, tonight is the grand reveal of the Ford F-150, and I'm really excited to see how they make such a useful electric vehicle. Because once again, the Mustang Mach-E as an SUV makes it a very useful vehicle for someone like me. You can do a lot with it. There's a lot of things that you can do with that car versus like an electric sports car. And the F-150 is ultimately a very useful car. Like a lot of people, I'm assuming probably most people use it for work. So there are lots of different features that need to be very useful and functional. So I can't wait to see. Okay. Interestingly, like when you buff the shadow out and have it quite light, that's quite a nice, easy effect. But applying it thickly, I feel almost like I have a cracked earth effect going on here. Let's see what the deeper shimmer is like and see if that's any different. I don't know, it's a bit harder to see it so deep. Oh, and it's Fallout City. Hi. All right, the deeper one looks better. So perhaps they were using the lighter one more as a top coat. And it's blending quite nicely, but it's certainly not my favorite. The matte, however, the matte formula is top notch. I picked that as my favorite matte formula so far. Because I gotta be honest, I really like the Anastasia Beverly Hills matte formula. Hello, neighbor dog. I like soft mattes. I like soft mattes that blend easily and stay. Not sure what's going on in my neighborhood, but this is what happens. So anyways, how are you guys doing? Have you gone on a trip? Have you been able to do so safely yet? That was much better. That was much better. I can't see anything. By the way, promised myself during the pandemic, I was going to go for a LASIK appointment. Oh God, and a lot of material comes up in the brush. Not as soft as Luxie. Like Luxie shadows, if you swipe at them thinking that they're a different brand, you could literally pan a shadow just immediately, accidentally. So I just picked up a little bit of the lime green and I'm gonna put that over the transition that I sort of accidentally blended because I was messing around, but oh, that's nice. That's nice. Do you see that? Can you see that? I hope so. So yeah, I'm sick of masks and foggy glasses. I'm not sick of masks. I think we're gonna wear masks for a while. I want to learn how to wear masks when I'm sick. And you know, I've been around people that have done that and I just didn't realize how considerate they were being to me in the past and to the people around them. And so I want to be a better person and do that in the future. And I'm sick of foggy glasses and I'm using that as the impetus to go at least have a LASIK appointment and see if I'm a candidate. I'm absolutely terrified. But the thought that I could see you right now potentially in the future, that's like a whole world that I just never imagined could be possible. But I'm still scared because I have some eye damage from the bombing in which I lost my leg, like shrapnel and stuff. So I'm scared that they'll turn me away. And like I've psyched myself up a lot to be able to feel like I could even go for this consultation. So I'll probably be crushed. And I'll also be crushed if they say I can do it, you know, be terrified. Opinion changed. I really like this metallic, the shimmer formula because it lays really well over itself. I'm thoroughly impressed. Like I'm probably gonna, like I said, do real time with you guys and show you the blending of that. And also, oftentimes when you're laying a shimmer, let's just show you up close before I put eyeliner on or anything, and I don't have that much time. Yeah, okay, we got 10 minutes, we gotta finish this up. But so oftentimes when you're laying shimmers on each other, they don't play super well, or they lift up the other shimmer that's underneath it, or they move it around, or they don't make a nice blend. But hopefully you can see the blend on that. It's not that I'm super skilled. You saw me patting and talking. Like it's just, it's a good formula. That's really good. I don't love the light blue, but I think it's interesting that you could use it as a top coat too. So for sure, like I'll probably use that as an inner corner highlight and we'll see how that is just sort of buffed out lightly. Okay, let's do under the eye, finish up and go to work. Okay, under the eye, we're just gonna take that deep blue, this tiny little Wet n Wild brush that I love, and I should probably turn this light on. So yeah, I'm debating if anyone's listening. Well, I might release this after I've gone to LASIK, but if you're interested, I might do a LASIK video, and if I've done it, then I'll put it up now. Hopefully I remember that. Maybe not, probably not. But if you want to see it, comment down below, and I'll do it, because I'm terrified. Why didn't I put on concealer first? I should have done that quickly. Yeah, I'm terrified. So if you've done LASIK, tell me how it was. I'm going to the same place that Patrick went. I actually didn't realize that, because I just went to a place that a friend just went and had a good experience, and then it turned out that it was where Patrick went 10 years ago, and he wore glasses his whole life, and I've only ever known him without glasses, which is super cool. Oh man. I'm a little annoyed that there's so much fallout and I'm wearing the lightest shirt that I ever wear. Like I just got this shirt and I never wear shirts this light. So that's a little rude. All right, I'm gonna take a little brush and I'll try that light blue as an inner corner highlight. Can you see? I literally haven't filmed doing makeup in probably 7 months or something. Because whenever I watch videos, and also I pre-filmed a lot, especially when I was furloughed last year, I filmed an absolute ton and still have some of those videos. How are you guys doing pandemically? Like, are you back at work in person? With this will tell you around about the time that this is happening, the whole CDC announcement about vaccinated people not having to wear masks. I mean, as a vaccinated person, I'm psyched, but I think it's quite a sudden jump considering we've all been trying to learn how to be careful. Like, there's no transition. It's just like, all right, everybody, party time, you know? So I'm good with wearing a mask still. It's not a big hassle, and I get to match my makeup to a fun face covering. Okay, that was all right. It was all right. I just don't love that light blue, but it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna do liner mascara very quickly. I'm back. It's been a couple hours, actually, quite a few hours. How many hours? 4. Okay. I had time for a very quick touch base touching. Had time to touch base very, very quickly. So this is what it looks like. Have my whole face done. My new e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation shade is natural. If you're anywhere near my skin tone, that's the shade I found now. I used to wear sand. I don't know if I was wearing the wrong shade or what it was, or if it's because now I use bronzer, but natural is better for me. Anyways, this eyeshadow is phenomenal. We're gonna use the actual palette to look at it. I really like this. I like this a lot. By the way that this performed, the matte specifically, the shimmers are good, except that lighter one, like I said. By the way that this performed, I want the Ferrell palette now. Knowing that these are magnetic and I can switch them out, there's a couple of browns in the Ferrell palette that I feel like would work really wonderfully with this. I think the formula is really excellent so far. I can already see a little bit of creasing on the inside of my crease over here. That's normally where I get it, and it starts to sort of crease and come off. So we'll see how this wears, but I'm feeling fierce right now. I really love the way this looks. I love the way it performed. Everything is where I put it, which is a big deal. Oh, I didn't put anything under in my waterline. I might add something there. My eyes watering. But yeah, I really, really, really like this a lot. Okay, so that's it. That's all we have time for. We're just touching base. This is what it looks like. I'll give you a little uppy closey, and then we're gonna touch base again later in as many hours as I can handle. And what I also might do is touch base once I've taken the makeup off so we can see if it stains. I really hope not. I really, really, really hope not, because I love the way that this looks. Okay, I'll be closey and let's go. Okay, my friends, this was very many hours wearing this. I put it on at 7 this morning and it is 10 p.m. Long time. Was that 15 hours? So the only real issues that we have are here in my crease. I get a little bit of like bunching up of shadow, and a little bit has come off and transferred. That's pretty typical for me, to be totally honest. There's a little more on that side. I was indoors, so when I go outside, my eyes are watering and stuff. That tends to happen more. You can see my eyeliner has done that, but other than that, I really like how this is worn. I'm loving how this dark blue looks here after 15 hours, I mean. And something that I tend to do is I tend to like rub my eyebrows and like rub my eyes right there, and I'll kind of like smush my shadow when it's far up, unintentionally. I really like how this wore. A lot. The transfer there, pretty typical. I don't know if I found a shadow that doesn't do that. I would say this is equal to Juvia's Place, which is one of my favorite shimmers. Give Me Glow, actually pretty similar. Give Me Glow is pretty sticky, so it does crease and transfer like this quite a bit. But I'm ready to take this off, so we're gonna see if this stained. It'll be interesting. I'm gonna use makeup wipes, and then I'm going to use an exfoliating facial scrub or some kind of face wash, whatever I have, because I've kind of run out of stuff and I need to do an order. So we're gonna do 2 methods, which is what I typically do, and then we'll touch base and see if they're staining. Hope not. But all in all, pretty impressed. I'm honestly very surprised. I'm surprised. There's nothing there. There's actually a little bit of blue you can see there, but that's kind of typical for me. Oh, and there. Okay, there's some staining. That is completely acceptable to me because I'm going to put on a little bit of concealer and eye primer anyways if I want something to stay. So like if I'm on holiday, I'll probably put on concealer and eye primer, and that's not that bad. I typically do that anyways, so I'm fine. I'm fine with this amount of staining. I will try the other colors, specifically the pinks and purples, because that can stain a lot in other brands. So I'd be interested to see how this works. And if it stains a lot, I'll update the description or the comments or something and let you guys know. But I am thrilled. I'm thrilled. I really like this brand. Menagerie, I'd say worth the hype. Yeah, and if this is the kind of staining that you expect, then totally acceptable. Okay, let's go back to the past. That's it. That was our time with this palette. I don't know how it wore yet because, of course, I'm filming this in the past. But you know if there was staining. I really, really, really hope there wasn't. I really hope there wasn't. But by the sounds of it, there will be because that's what everyone says. So right now, I love this thing. I love this color story. If you have this palette too, or if you have anything else to recommend by Menagerie Cosmetics, feel free to share your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear if there are other palettes or shades in particular that you've really enjoyed and that would be fun to switch out. Because I could totally see sort of switching out a couple here and making this a little more cohesive for me. I like doing that kind of thing. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Wherever you are, I hope you're having the best day that you possibly can. Be kind to the people around you. And thanks for hanging out.